Hi there. Welcome to the Gilded Daisy and our messy house, which is under a renovation. Hi, you can't quite see me, but I'm here. Hi. I wanted to do a quick video for this group or our own Facebook page on how to photo transfer this cow. I've got both the cow and the sheep now available as prints. It was much easier to do a print and ship them out than for you guys to try and find a Staples or a store or printer in the US that will actually make these prints. This one is not an inkjet print. It is a colored wax print. They don't have those printers at Staples or Office Depot, I think you have down there too. So they're available on the site now. The prints are $29. I just thought this way you guys would have a better chance of getting them and doing them. So anyways, oh, sorry about the banana and the tomato. I was trying to hold down the paper and forgot I'd left them on there. Hey, they're organic, what can I say? Try and eat organic. But just to start off with, these prints are done on 27 bond paper. The thinner paper doesn't work. It tends to tear when you're trying to squish out all the product out of the gesso actually, or whatever you choose to use. The thinner paper tears. I've learned my lesson the hard way and went through a lot of prints and a lot of plywood, and plywood gets expensive if you keep screwing up. So enough about that. 27-inch bond paper is what we're using, and this is a colored wax print from a local print shop here in Victoria. The plywood I'm using, I don't know if you can see here, is 3/4 inch birch plywood. You can't really see it. And why I use a good 3/4 inch plywood is because I'm going to frame this with old barnwood. I don't know if you saw any of the photos, but I use barnwood or old lumber and frame out in that, and the thinner plywood, because I need to screw it on, you've got a chance of it coming through the side. So I use 3/4 inch birch plywood, good plywood, not like the industrial grade that goes on your floor. You want nice, smooth plywood, and any of the holes in the plywood are filled. Otherwise, if there's knots blown out in the top layer of the plywood, because you know plywood's all layers of wood, crap wood basically, and glue, and if any of these knots chip out and you're trying to do this over a chipped out knot, you're going to tear your paper. So, you know, invest in some good plywood. If you don't have a table saw to cut your 4x8 sheet, I'm sure Home Depot would be happy to do it because they do mine for me because I'm getting lazy and I don't want to lug around a 4x8 sheet of plywood anymore. So what I'm going to do first is, now that we've gone over the 3/4 inch plywood, what type of paper I'm using, I'm just going to take this guy off here and I'll put him over here for a minute. And I'm just going to coat the surface on here. Sorry you can't see me, but you either see me or you see what I'm doing. I'm just throwing some of that on there, no big deal, just squish it on. And then you want to, I'm very messy. There's no proper way of doing this. I want a thin coat on here. I found the thicker coats is just more to squish out. So you want to use a thinner coat, and there's no, I found there's no up, down, sideways. I'd go all over the place just to make sure it's well covered. I do the edges. You're just going to cut them off anyways or trim them up. But I was going to do this outside, but it's cold here. It's only like 4 degrees. Too windy. The lighting's better out there. Sorry about the lighting. I'll work on that one day. But for the time being, I just want to do this quick video and show you. I guess I should get these out of the way. I don't need them anymore. There they go. Oopsie. My daughter likes to bite the tomatoes. We go to make a salad and all the tomatoes are bitten. I try and hide them. But I just want to show you this quick video on how to do this. So if you get these prints, I've got another one coming out. I've got so many videos. I just got to get them up and done. I hope you guys all had a great year last year, and I'm hoping you have a good year this year. So I'm just going back and forth. Thin coat. I don't want to do it too thick. Back and forth, nice and fast. Don't let it dry. Try not to get any hair in there. I don't know what that is. It's a fluffy. You can't get it out. Don't worry about it. It's going to add character. I mean, sometimes I get little, I didn't dust this off, but anything you get stuck underneath adds character to the finished product. So there you go. It's all done. All smoothed out. thin coat. Go run this and put this in water so it doesn't harden up on me. That's done. Pull up my pants. And now we're gonna roll out this cow. I mean, in my short little video, I put in my other little video I did on smaller runs, I had put the transfer medium, which is the gesso, onto the face of the cow and then drop the plywood on it. But this time I'm just going to roll the cow, which I found easier. I learned that trick afterwards. I'm just rolling up my paper. Sorry you can't really see what's going on, but you get the idea. I'm rolling this guy up. You have to remember that you want, you see here, that you want the printed side to be stuck to the gesso. So I'm just going to line it up. Wish I'd put my hair back. I'm just going to line it up on here. Just line it up best you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to roll this guy out. See how easy that was? Just like wallpaper, as if you're doing wallpaper. Roll them out, all happy. And now, using just a cheap plastic spatula or a charge card, I'm just going to get out any wrinkles. Again, not too, I mean, if you do a thicker coat, it's not a big deal because you're just going to squish it out the sides. But I find that the paper starts to wrinkle a bit. I wish you could kind of see it on here, but I don't know if you can see that. There is a lump there, and there's wrinkles here. Let me just see if I can raise that up a bit. Ah, there you go. You can see that. See these? Need to get rid of those. And they do come out. I have to put it back down to do it, but you're going to work from the center out. Just like that. Nice and easy. I probably should have done a live for this, but nah, still not up to live videos, even though I'll post this one. But you see what I'm doing? I'm just going from the center out. I got to get these wrinkles out, so I've got to drop it back down again. If I can see what I'm doing here. But you just want to get them out. And if you end up with a big wrinkle across there, not a big deal. It looks good in the end. You just want to work these things as best you can. So I've kind of got a bigger one in the center now that I usually don't get just because I was talking. But I will get that one out the best I can. And as I said, it adds character afterwards. You can do this, but you got to be careful you don't end up making it worse like I probably just did, but not really. There we go, right across there. They seem to pop up everywhere as you're doing it. You just keep working it. Come around to the side and do the side of it. You don't want it drying too fast. I mean, on a nice day, it's going to dry fast. You want that paper stuck. If you find it's lifting somewhere, you probably just don't have it thick enough, but it does work. I'm just working this big one out. I can get it out. I'm always wondering, you're looking down. You see down my shirt? Nope. I always forget the angle you're at, and the next thing you know, your video, if you do a live, and everybody can see down your top. I guess you can always delete it, and not everybody's watching your video anyways. So I pretty well flattened out that one wrinkle. And when I'm done this, I will show you where that wrinkle shows up on the finished product. Another one popped up there. walk around it. I'll just lift this up here for you again. I don't know if you can see, so you can see my one wrinkle down here. And so I'll show you where that shows up on the finished image, but it looks good. You don't want these things perfect. I know that if you use the toner-based printers, and why we don't use a toner-based printer is because they don't make toner-based printers as big anymore. I think there's a lot of environmental stuff that goes into that, but if you want to use a toner-based printer, you have to break your images up, you know, like with Blockbuster or something. Into, like I've seen a lot of the girls do, they break this image up into little 8x11 pieces that you can print off on your own toner-based printer, or you can take them to a store and have it done, like your local office supply store. Even our corner store does them, and they're toner-based. But then you have to tape them all together again, and I haven't had much luck with that. And you know what? I think I'm too lazy, because by the time I cut them all up and tape them all together again and lay them out, they drive me nuts. I'd rather just do this, because the product in the end, I actually do a lot of my own painting over top of it to give it my own character. And believe me, I am not an artist. I am a terrible artist, but at least I can go over it. It's almost like paint by numbers, and kind of make it more into my own. I mean, this is a beautiful artist out of the UK, and she does beautiful work. We're getting a bunny rabbit done right now. The other ones I've got are from a lovely gentleman in Serbia, and another lady in Peru, and another lady in Argentina. I try and get my print, you know, my artwork original from wherever I can. I think this is done enough. So again, the color wax printer, those are the prints you're getting. Now, if you're looking, I just want to be clear here just a sec. If you're looking to just take this print and do this photo transfer, get rid of the paper, and it's all perfect, the colored wax prints don't do that. You should paint over them a little bit more. You don't have to. But if you do, it does add your own character. I bang them up and antique them, and I'll show that later too. I'll just put one up here. I'm going to quit talking for a minute. I just want to double check I haven't missed anything on here. You see a few little pockets, not a big deal. If you have a little air bubble, it just means that the print won't take there and you have a little gap. But it adds character. Everything adds character. I'll just double check this. I think I'm good. It's good all over. Nothing really came out the sides because it was a thin coat, but it looks good. I'm just going to take it off here. Put it over here and let it dry. I usually let them dry 24 hours. I put them in front of a heater. So that was the cow print. Here's the sheep that I was working on. This one's had all the paper removed, but let me just show you one little thing here. That's it. I have to get some water. See, because I use mostly those colored ink, the colored printers, you get this film over top still. You know, if I put liquid on, you can see how it brightens up. I don't know if you can see that or not, but see how that brightened right up when I added that water on top. So when you can see the difference between there and there. You know, how I get this look in the end is I actually go over it with stain and wipe it off with paint thinner. But if I wanted to take a little bit more paper off, that film is a little bit more paper. I can just keep rubbing a bit more. Like this black is a little bit darker than this black. I could probably get a little bit more off here. Oops, there goes my paper. But that comes out, I mean, this has come out really nice and clear. And this, of course, was a smaller sheep when it was painted. It was only about this big. So I do like to add back in my own colors to it. And I just use my own paintbrushes and stuff. Not my own colors, but you know what I mean. I kind of darken up these. I might darken up his eye a bit. That was a little... See, here's a wrinkle here. Can you see that? This here was a wrinkle. So the ink didn't take. Let me bring that up closer. See? A wrinkle. Right below the eye there. That's where the paper didn't stick, or it had a wrinkle, and the ink didn't take, which is fine, because when I stain that or add black to it, it looks great. So I will, after this dries again, probably just go over it with my fingers with a little bit more paint, add a little bit more black into these areas in here, And I add a little bit more character to it. I love it the way it is, but you know, who wants to just do a print? Add your own character if you want. And I can show that on another video. But again, that is the sheep after I've removed all the paper I possibly can. And then I will do my own artwork on it, add some character, bang it up, and it will become my own. So Ishrat is her name of the lady that does these, and she's incredible. But I can't just afford artwork, so I'd rather pay somebody to do it, and I'll do all these fun things. So that's about it for now. I'll do another video later on about antiquing this, probably tomorrow. And again, just a quick recap. The prints are for sale on the site, on my website. I can send you the link. I would rather you just send me your zip code right now if you're in the States, or your postal code. Then I can source out the shipping for you. Usually I use Purolator. The prints are running about, I don't know, $28 to have shipped, somewhere around there. Might be a bit cheaper. And so then you get the prints and all that for about 60 bucks. It's worth it. Otherwise you can pay me to do this for you, and I charge you $195 or $245 or whatever it is for whichever print. But again, these prints should be redone. They don't look as good. I'm just going to grab the other sheep here. This sheep was done with the blue tint to it. But here it is here. I'm going to do a bit of a close-up. You know, so there's the guy there. I mean, he looks great. You could just frame him the way he is, but he will not have the character or the depth or anything else that, you know, you can add doing your own. I mean, the purpose of these prints was to do the photo transfers. If I wanted a big sheep print, I would have commissioned her to do a giant sheep for me and be done with it. But it's the photo transferring that's fun. So again, 27 pound paper, bond paper, 3/4 inch plywood. I mean, you could do this on a dress or you can do it wherever. The colored wax prints do need some work afterwards, banging up. Otherwise, I wouldn't just frame this and hang it. I guess I could, but why not add your own character to it? Then it just doesn't look like a print. It looks like artwork. And I'll show you how to do that later. So bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.